Hello there. As you're probably aware, over the last few days we've had a couple of losers. Now, it's always disappointing when we get losers, but unfortunately that's part of betting. It's inevitable that you're going to get losers somewhere along the way. So the only question we need to ask ourselves is, when we do get a loser, what are we going to do about it? Now, if you're in the situation where you're placing £100 level stakes, then the reality of what's just happened is you've just lost £100. So you're probably feeling pretty upset about that, pretty disappointed, and you're now in a situation where you're chasing losses. So it makes the perception of the whole process negative. You're in a negative state of mind. Now, that's not what we want. We want to be feeling positive about it. Now, the way in which I do that is I have a recovery plan that I use, whereby it pulls back all of my profits that I've lost, so that at the end of the day it makes it as though that these losses never occurred, and I maintain a nice upwards curve to my bank. So what I will do is I will show you how I do my recovery plan. Now, I'm offering this as a suggestion only. You can take a look at it, see if you like it, and if you do, by all means, you can directly copy it, or you can use it as the basis to form your own recovery plan. But ultimately, any recovery plan that you end up deciding upon is at your own discretion. So then, I'm hoping you've seen the Dutching calculator that I've done. If you haven't, simply go to the website premierdutching.com, go to the tools section, and you will see the links where you can download it. You'll need Excel to view the spreadsheet, and depending on which version of Excel that you've got, you'll see the links for your version there. So what this is showing you is the race that just lost. It was the Hamilton 8:20 p.m. on the 7th of May. These were Mel's selections, and these were the odds that Mel got when he was placing the Dutch that was sent out in the email. Now, what we've done is we've placed £100 stake on this Dutch. Now, if this Dutch would have been successful, we would have seen a profit of £30.98. Now, unfortunately, that didn't happen, and it lost. So we lost the £100 stake. Now, from my perspective, I've just lost £100, plus I've lost the potential profit that it would have brought me of £30.98. So I'm looking to pull that amount back. So what I do is I take that figure and I divide it by 2, which gives me £65.49. So you put that figure into the recovery amount. Okay, now just assume that this is the next Dutch, and you put all your new horses in, all the new odds, and now you're looking to pull back 50% of that loss, which you would put in there. Now, what that does is it amends all the stakings for each selection, so that if you notice in the profit column, this now includes the profit that this new Dutch would give you if it was successful, and it also includes the £65.49 in each selection. So what you would need to do is you would need to ensure that the next two Dutches that you make, you include this figure of £65.49 in the recovery amount field, so that over the next two bets you're actually completely pulling back the profit that you lost. Now, I find this 50% model works extremely well with the results that we've been getting, because if you notice, we've never had two losers together. In fact, for the most part, when we have a loser, we've been getting quite a healthy series of wins after it. So when we do have a loss, that loss is pulled back in the next two bets, and then we're in profit again. And we're also making the profit of the Dutch as well, assuming that they're successful along the way. I've found this to be extremely beneficial, both to my bank and my state of mind as well, because I'm actually, when I have a loss, I'm actually doing something about it straight away. Now, you don't have to use the 50% if you don't want to. You can use a third of your profit, or you can use a quarter of your profit. Now, if you wanted to use a quarter of your profit, which basically means pulling back your loss over the next 4 bets, what you would do is you would take the £130.98 that you want to pull back, and you would divide it by 4, which would give you £32.74. So over the next 4 Dutches, just ensure that that figure is in the recovery amount, and then you'll pull it back over the next 4 bets, assuming that they're all successful. Now, for the full members, I've actually done another addition to the Dutching calculator, which uses another little trick that we can use to pull back our profits a little bit quicker. And it actually reduces our risk in the process as well. So I'll send that out to the full members in the next couple of days. Now, anyone joining will have that basically from day one. It'll be in the welcome email with the links to download it. And this particular edition can be worth the price of the subscription alone. So I'll let you know as soon as that's ready. Now, I've looked at a number of different recovery methods that people use, and there's loads of different ones out there. Now, where they all seem to fall foul is when you start getting 2 losers together or 3 losers together, and you start getting into a martingale type situation where your stakes start to become silly, and within about 5 or 6 bets you're in danger of completely wiping yourself out, which is not a situation that we want to be in. So what I do to combat that is I have a cut-off point, and what my cut-off point is if I'm placing £100 level stakes, I will say to myself, right, I'm not going to let that figure rise above 200, twice my normal stake. If I do experience a 3rd loser in the run, my total stake would obviously rise above 200. In which case I would simply say to myself, I'm just going to stick at 200 until I've recovered all my loss, regardless of whatever happens. And that way you're going to stay in the game for a lot longer than someone who's using a martingale type approach, which I actually see as being very, very dangerous. So I find using this particular recovery method to be relatively safe and predictable. And with the addition of the maximum stake, it's a much more long-term thing than other recovery methods that I've looked at. So if you were to decide to use something like this, what it would require you to do is, first of all, I'm hoping that you're keeping records similar to this, either in a spreadsheet or written down. It requires you to keep a running tally of any losses that you might incur, so you'd need another column basically, so that you always know how much that you're down, you always know what you need to recover, and you always know what you need to be putting into this recovery amount to get yourself back into profitability. Now, I've got a number of Dutching calculators from various sources, and I've never actually seen this feature in any of them used in this particular way, which is why I've decided to put it in. So I'm hoping that you find this information useful, and it allows you to not feel as bad when you do actually have a loser, because it's not the end of the world when we have a loser. We can pull it back as long as you put a little bit of thought into a proper recovery plan. So if you haven't already, it might be a good idea to actually decide upon what recovery plan, if any, that you are going to use, because Mel has told me that the selections are going to be stepping up a gear from now on, or from next week at least. So if we have all of our processes in place ready for when that happens, the process will end up being much more enjoyable and more importantly more profitable. So I hope you found this useful. If I have any more updates to the calculator, I'll let you know immediately through email. So good stuff. I'll see you all soon. Thanks a lot. Bye for now. Bye bye.